Hey, greetings to all drummer folks out there on the interwebs. This is a special interest piece, we'll call it that, all right? So what I have here is a snare drum, and it's not just any snare drum. It's kind of almost old as the hills, but not quite. It's a 1960 Ludwig 15-inch head by 12-inch deep drum. Now, I found this in a little mom and pop shop in middle of Ohio somewhere, a little bit on the backwoods side of things, and it was on the wall, and I asked if it was for sale. And, oh, I'm sorry, that's just display, that's not for sale. I said, oh, sir, it's definitely for sale. What's the price? So anyway, I snagged this puppy for $110, and it had been refinished a couple times from some old high school, and sure enough, inside is a 1960 stamp. So it's legit. Anyway, I thought it's really cool, and probably every household in America should have a 1960s vintage Ludwig 15-inch snare drum. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, what I noticed is it was very rattly as far as the snares. It had these kind of snares on it, the basic snappy snares, coiled wire sort, and it was a little bit. It just wouldn't quite speak the way I wanted it to. I might even put those back on so you can hear it. So I decided to get fancy, and I talked to a buddy who came up with a genius idea of guitar strings. So I petitioned all the folks at my church and said, your trash is my treasure. I need all your old guitar strings. And so they hooked me up, and I'll show you what I did with this. I should play this drum first. So here it is, I'll play it. It sounds pretty cool. So I'll show you what I did with the guitar strings, all right? A little bit of mobile camera magic action here. First of all, there's the badge. Woot, woot. There's the WFL strainer. And you see the guitar strings right there. And on the back side, you can see the little loop-de-loops that don't let it go all the way through. Then here is the butt end. Again, the WFL thing, totally legit. And so these are just guitar strings. The downside is there's different gauges, so I had to crank this puppy pretty tight to get them to work. But it does work, and it sounds pretty darn cool. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna dare to compare. I am gonna go ahead and put those snappy snares back on so we can hear the old version. And then these are tennis racket strings. So they're actually called gut strings. So we're gonna see how it sounds with each of the three strings. And the heads are Remo coated Diplomat, same on top and bottom, because these are just guides. These aren't lug casings, so there's one pole. This actually, one post basically, this threads into the bottom claw, so the heads are pulling against each other. So if you have a thick, heavy head and a thin bottom head, the bottom's gonna stretch all day long while the top one never gets too tight. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna ABC. So here is the wire snares one more time. Now with some editing magic, here I am with the snappy snares back on. So let's hear it now. So I had to tighten them pretty tight just to get it to not rattle around too much. And I noticed there's not that much snare response. So on a scale between 1 and 10, I'd give these a sad face. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is project time. We're gonna get these gut snare / tenant racket strings on, and we're gonna see how those are compared to the wire strings. And by the way, the wire guitar strings had a lot more snare response than the coiled snappy snares too, which again sort of adds to the resulting sad face score. So I'm gonna put these on and let's see what we got. Now I'm back, the gut snares are on. I knew that was gonna be a pain. I didn't know just how bad a pain it would be to get all the snares in line, none of them overlapped, clamped down evenly. Yeah, a pain, I'll show you, but here's the sound. Now, synthetic gut snares, also known as tennis racket strings. Pretty cool. So at the end, I'll ABC them so you can hear one after another, and then you can vote in the comments. See, this is very interactive, very hip and with it the way I'm doing this. All right, so here's a little up close of the action here with the tennis racket strings. Woot woot. Yeah, more difficult than it looks right there for sure. Now on this side, they loop through, so it's all together in one piece. So that's it. One more shot of that sweet badge. So listen to it, tell me what you think of the sound, and that's it for this special interest piece, right? That's it. Okay, bye.